Yeah, I agree with you. I'm tired of these smartphone manufacturers with the same old as well. Let's have a conversation.
You might have to catch a plane for this. You gon' have to say my name for this.
What is the deal, beautiful people? My name is Ramon. This is Lifestyles Defined, where we have valuable conversations around our favorite passion, technology. This particular video is an AMA, Ask Me Anything. If you're new here, you're not sure how this works, you ask your question down in the comment section down below, and we answer it in upcoming videos. So today's question comes on the tail end of a comment that was left on my Samsung Galaxy S9 video from the homie Hassan T. So he says, definitely a safe update. And this is sort of the consensus that I formed at the end of the video. It's more of an iterative update as opposed to just what we're used to seeing from Samsung. And my stance on that was, this is a good thing for Samsung. I like to see them slow down and sort of take these itty bitty steps and just put their best foot forward each time versus like continually cramming the envelope. But whatever, nothing wrong with that. But I would like to see more manufacturers come with something a little different besides the same old, same old. I could definitely understand that. The industry really needs another Nokia 800 design-wise. Everything out now is a bit stale. Too bad Blackberry could not come up with a Priv 2. Your thoughts, Ramon? Well, I definitely see where you're coming from. This is definitely a conversation I continue to have multiple times throughout the year. It just so happens we're having it very early because, you know, Samsung has these two cycles. One is which you'll see like the regular S8, and then the later part of the year you'll see like the Note stuff. And the Note stuff will usually tackle like the Note and the iPhone, and the S8 and the Pixel is usually later on during the year, and the S8 this time of year you usually see like LG somewhere in there, maybe HTC. We got a video coming up with our LG and that missing G7, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. But yeah, this is a very popular conversation because as we progress, we start to see, it's hard as consumers. And if you're tuned into this channel, chances are you have that itch. You know what itch I'm talking about, when the new phone comes out and there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with your current phone, but you start looking around and I gotta get ready to get this new phone, right? You start to convince yourself that you need a new phone. And that's been becoming progressively harder because before, these phones are like $400 or $500. And, you know, if you're a responsible adult, and don't take this the wrong way, there are plenty of people out there who don't have the funds and are responsible adults. But if you've got the capital, you can be like, yeah, whatever, here's my money. And then in the US, it's even easier because we used to have the subsidized model, and then after the subsidized model, now we're actually paying monthly payments on the phone. So it's very easy for you to trade up on a cycle basis to a new phone. But when these things start to come out at $800, $900, $1,000, you're like, whoa, whoa. Do I really need this new phone? And then to add complexity to that whole stew, you have companies like OnePlus who have these very solid offerings. And Hassan mentioned the Blackberry. The Blackberry Priv sort of played in that field as well, where, last year's or yesteryear's smartphone or flagship smartphone used to cost us $400. Now that's today's low to medium end phone, where the medium to high range phone will cost you $500 to $600. And then you start to scrutinize these flagships and go, well, what are you about for $1,000? And it's difficult to say that, these flagships are worth that money. if you sit down and you conceptualize, or even if you start to list out these features and specs on a spreadsheet, the differences between the medium to high or the flagship range is very, very marginal, right? And it's like, well, is that worth an extra $300-$400? I don't know. It's totally up to you. But back to the topic, this is a conversation that happens because we're finding the more we scrutinize these phones because of various issues like the one we or just happenstance because of the prices that are surging, you start to notice, yes, there is more of the same. There's the same old. And you start to notice a lack of what I would say true innovation in the industry. Even though Apple likes to get on stage and wave that flag, I don't think Apple's innovated in quite some time, right? And, there are new features, yes, but these aren't like life-changing features. And it's, especially if you look at the design, looking at the design language of a lot of these new phones like that, the iPhone 10, and then you've got the Asus Zen 5, which I'm going to do a video about shortly, with the notch. And then you've got the essential phone with the notch. It's like, guys, that's just piss poor design. Like, you got to try harder than that. Like, I refuse to accept that. It's ugly. It gets in the way of consuming content. It's not added value. I guess you could say Face ID is added value, but there isn't a lot going on around the smartphone industry right now, and it's interesting to see when a new trend comes, how everyone just sort of locks in, and it's a race till you beat it to death. So it was like processors and single core processors, dual core, quad core, octa core, right? And it's this race. They had phones had 1 gig of RAM, 2 gigs of RAM, 6, 8. I'm sure there's a 10 gig Android phone out there somewhere. Does that mean better performance? No. So what's the point? What was the race to the bigger number, right? And now it's the bezel thing. And because of the race to a thinner bezel, you sacrifice things like a proper design. There's a notch because you couldn't find a decent space to put a front-facing camera. Like, there's so much that's happening that's just not, I wouldn't say it's added value to us as the consumer. I don't know what to think here. It's definitely one of those things where we're not in control. We do have the ability to vote with our wallet, right? Like me, I'm not supporting the iPhone 10. I don't like that notch. I'm not supporting the Zen phone. I don't like that notch. One of the more frustration parts about using a Samsung phone is the fact that I just don't get the latest version of Android. And believe me, I thought long and hard about going out there and buying that Pixel. But I'm not supporting the Pixel because it's just so many issues around it that they just couldn't get right. I'm reading all types of forum posts where these diehard fans go out and return their Pixel 3 and 4 times, and each time they return it, they get a better display. Like, what? No, I'm not supporting that. So I don't know how to judge the current state of the industry right now. We're definitely chasing this notch trend. Google didn't help because they came out and said Android P will fully support, the UI will fully support hardware with notches. I just sort of rolled my eye. I was like, oh, okay, oh God, I hope we don't see that in my lifetime. And then lo and behold, Asus pops out of nowhere. So I agree with you. There's definitely a lack of differentiation or identity, and a big part of it also is smartphones have matured, right? How much more different can you make a slab of glass and a touchscreen? You know what I mean? We're kind of approaching there, and I think that's the $1 million or billion trillion dollar question. Even it's what's next. A lot of people are looking at AR as the next leader to sort of a really the next true interface that we as human will use, and they're looking at wearables, because I think we've reached a peak in smartphones. Like, these things are gonna be what they are, but our needs don't really stop. And you kind of sort of see this in the smart speaker realm, right? Where you see dope innovation and added value happening in technology, but not so much on our smartphone. I think we reached the peak with the smartphone, so I fully expect from here on out everything just sort of looks the same, and it follows these trends. And when someone comes out with this one little innovative piece, then everybody's just like, and we got it too, and it's brand new. I think it's just the law of the land right now. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you so much, Hassan, for your question, and thank you for being a valued member of the LD community as always. My name is Ramon. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm out of here. Peace.
Well, I guess, and the reason we started Lifestyles Defined is because if we weren't on camera arguing about these things, the technologies, the phones, the iPhones, the Androids, the cameras, the games, we'd be on the phone arguing about it. We'd be in each other's houses arguing about it. So why not just put it in front of a camera for everyone to enjoy it the way we do? That's what Lifestyles Defined is all about. We just